Brittany, what can you tell us about the storm now?
So Beryl did weaken a little bit to a tropical storm, which is expected because it made landfall just before about 5 a.m. earlier this morning. And of course, as it continues to move inland, we are going to see the storm continue to weaken, but it is going to produce a lot of rain in its track. And that's really the biggest threat here is going to be coastal as well as inland flooding from this storm as it continues to move inland, which oftentimes inland flooding and of course additional rainfall, the inundation of storm surge is the biggest threat from tropical storms. You can of course see the rainfall forecast. Notice the numbers here shaded in the orange coloring, 5 to even 7 inches of rain with isolated totals about 10 inches plus over the next 7 days. And you can actually see the exact track of Beryl all the way through Missouri into parts of Illinois, all the way up toward the northern part there of Indiana, into parts there of Ohio. Now it is going to bring a lot of moisture to parts of the upper Midwest, not technically bringing any moisture to us here in the Carolinas, but we are going to see an increase in moisture ourselves. In fact, we're seeing better rain chances all throughout the upcoming week, which has been much needed, especially as most of the region has been in a flash drought. Now, if you have seen isolated heavier totals of rain over the next few days, or the past few days, that is, over the next few, you especially, if you're in a low-lying area you know is prone to flooding, make sure you're keeping a close eye on your surrounding area. Maybe if you're walking the dog later on this afternoon and you notice your, storm drains in the neighborhood are a little clogged, maybe with branches, leaves, things of that nature, maybe take that initiative and try to pick them up. Oftentimes it's those kind of built environments that we have across our area, especially in more urbanized regions, that cause some of that increase in flooding. It's not always just the heavier pockets of rain that lead to that increase in flooding potential. Now today we do have a few spotty showers and storms, but they're not nearly as much as what we had over the weekend. Dry and quiet now, but a few more popping up, especially after 4 o'clock. You can see these toward the mountains and foothills, mainly north of I-40 before 5 and eventually shifting a little bit further south by this afternoon. Tomorrow's coverage, I do think, will be a little bit more than what we have today. So Monday and actually Wednesday, I think sandwiched with a few drier days with a few more thunderstorms Tuesday. And you'll actually see this again as we look ahead to Wednesday. Again, kind of comparable to today with a little bit lesser coverage. So if you want to get outside, I think Monday and Wednesday will be 2 good days to do so. So heavy rain, hot and muggy conditions that impact the next 2 days. But thankfully, we're not as hot and muggy as where we have been. I was actually covering up day 5 intentionally when I showed you this map a few minutes ago, because again, upper 90s to lower 100s the next 4 days. But look at day 5. We actually eventually do get some slight relief as we look ahead to Friday, a little bit more rainfall potential. Some more clouds will actually allow for temperatures to only reach the upper 80s. It'll still be humid, but with that increase in cloud cover, our feels like numbers will likely only be in the mid-90s as we look ahead to Friday. Now that relief is short-lived as we once again will feel like the upper 90s as we head into the weekend, but hey, it's something to look forward to. Your 3-day heat impact map, of course, just like we were yesterday, we're looking at the minor to moderate impact for today. But again, tomorrow and heading into Wednesday, you saw that there on the map. As we get into those lower 100s, we will have to watch a few areas shaded in the red the next 2 days. So while we're not actually to that criteria for a heat advisory, we do want folks, of course, to keep a close eye on the forecast. So here's your Guy Roofing 7-day. You can, of course, see those scattered rain and storms every single afternoon. Highs mostly in the 90s, but Sarah, you see that one coveted day Friday. Yes, it sees more rain and storms. Yes, more clouds, but highs only at 87. I'll take it.